Hello and welcome to this edition of Eat Right with Rouses. I'm your host, Keith Weisheit. Thank you so much for joining us as we welcome in our favorite dietitian, April Sins. Hey, April.
Hello, Keith. How are you
I
today?
am very good, but as I look around, I see these beautiful green festive colors. I see these
Yeah,
beautiful cherries with the other festive colors. Man, it's festivity time. I love it.
it is. And I'm doing the Vanna White on it.
Vanna White over these wonderful breakfast items, which I got to
I
tell you,
love it.
so many people, it's wonderful that we've learned so much about the importance of breakfast. But I love the fact
Mhm.
that you always make them so delicious and so healthy. It's just a great idea. Tell us a little bit about some breakfast options.
And so easy and convenient,
Mm,
too. That's what I love to do. Thank you, Keith. This is so much fun because we're going to be talking about cherries today. And not just any cherry, I'm talking about fresh cherries.
mm.
Now, growing up, I recall I only knew of like the cherries in the jar, like the
O-
maraschino cherries. That's all I knew of a cherry.
Okay.
And once I had fresh cherries, I said, wait a minute, where
Whole
have
new
these been
world.
all of my life? Right. So if that's all you know, definitely give some fresh cherries a try because it is a game changer. The ones in the jar are fine too,
Right?
but these are just amazing, totally different taste from the ones in the jar. Nice and sweet. So cherries, fresh cherries, they are a seasonal item.
Okay.
So when you find these at Rouse's on the shelves, or if you see them in the sale paper, you want to make sure to go to Rouse's and grab them because they are a seasonal item. So if you can't find fresh cherries, you can always go to the frozen section and get some frozen ones too. But I love it when we have those fresh cherry options available. And they're not just any cherry, like whenever we have cherries, they're
Mm,
a nice size as well too.
they're
So
beautiful.
gives a great bite. There is a little pit in there, and so you can, if you're going to make something with it, they're really easy to open up, take the little pit out, and then chop them up however you want. So today I basically have a breakfast idea, and this is to really keep it super simple because whenever we're busy with all of our Christmas festivities, we might be looking for an easy way to get in the kitchen, have a little breakfast together, and then move on with our day with all of our festivities. So that's what I have today. So I love this combination. I have a frozen waffle right here. Okay. So really easy. I put it in the toaster, toasted up the waffle. And one of my favorite kinds of waffles to grab is going to be a whole grain waffle. It's got some fiber in there.
Mhm.
So you could tell if something has whole grain, it's usually going to say it on the front of the box, whole grain, multi-grain, but you could also flip it over and look in the ingredients and it'll say whole grain on it as well. On top of that waffle, I'm going to take some of my Rouse's maple syrup. Okay, you
Mm.
can see the jar's half full because we do use this. And so I'm just going to layer a little bit, but you don't need a lot whenever you're going to add these fresh cherries because the fresh cherries are so sweet.
Mm.
You're going to get a lot of sweet goodness from that as well.
There's
So I'm going to
natural
put these,
sweetness.
yeah, the natural sugars in there. And what's great about cherries is not only do they taste great, but there's also a lot of health benefits that they are studied for, including things like helping in sleep,
Mm.
helping with anti-inflammatory effects. So, like if you work out and you're looking for some recovery items, that's a great one. Antioxidants, heart health. I mean, the list kind of goes on. Where there's a lot of things, and you know what else I'm going to add to this? So I have the waffle, the whole grain. I have the fresh cherries. I'm going to add a little bit of chopped walnuts to
Mm.
this. So
Love
good.
chopped
It's going to
walnuts.
add those great good fats to it, a
Hmm.
little bit of protein, and then also just that nice crunch and that nice flavor. Now we're not finished, Keith. Okay, we're going to top it with some of our Rouse's whipped topping.
Oh,
And Rouse's whipped topping is really good because it's so like smooth and creamy that you don't have to use a lot of it. So a little bit goes a long way. I just put a little bit of on top. And then guess what I'm going to top this with? If you
more
guess
topping.
more topping. Guess what I'm gonna top it with? I'm gonna put
A
a cherry
cherry.
on top.
Ah,
What?
yeah, we put the cherry on top. We got
Yeah,
everything and the cherry on top.
everything in the cherry, a little bit of mint
Okay.
leaves to kind of grab that green and red color, but perfect for the holiday season. I mean, you can't make breakfast any easier than just doing this. And look at how fun and festive this is. I
Well, and
mean, this is. a
And
great way to start the morning.
as people get to see this here on Christmas morning, it is our
Yeah,
Christmas day. What a great option to do this at any time. You can do this,
anytime.
as you wake up before Santa. You can do it after Santa. You can do it in the middle of the day. There are some people that love breakfast all the time. Those
Yeah,
breakfast people. And this is one of those easy, healthy ways. I love all the benefits that come from the cherry. And I don't know
the
that I
cherry.
realized that before, that there's a lot
Yes.
of things that I really could help with, some of the aches and pains. I know I could really use that, but also the benefit of sleep and being
Yeah.
one of those natural sleep aids is
Right.
wonderful.
Right.
Yeah, and just how
Right.
sweet, and the fact that you need very little of the sweeteners that you have there because the
Hmm.
cherries themselves are so sweet.
Yeah, I love to add fruit to things because whenever you add the fruit, you're adding some natural sweetness to it. So a lot of when people think of sugar, what they're really thinking of is added sugar. That's what we find in a lot of our sodas and in a lot of our desserts. But fruit has a natural sweetener to it. There's no added sugar whenever you're adding fruit to something. So it's a great way to get some vitamins and nutrients in there, but also add a ton of flavor to whatever you're adding it to as well.
It is perfect. And so, what I'd like to do is wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas. And to all of our wonderful viewers at Eat Right with Rouses, we appreciate that. So, very Merry Christmas to you guys.
Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you and you all as well.
All right. And that will do it for this particular edition of Eat Right with Rouses. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming right here on HTV.